I'm Jeremy Musigh, Head of Growth at Balancer Labs. Balancer is an automated market maker, or AMM, which really serves as three things. One is a decentralized exchange. The other is an automated portfolio manager. And lastly, and honestly most importantly, is that it's a platform for development. So really Balancer's vision for growth and the way Balancer interacts with the DeFi ecosystem is acting as an infrastructural layer for other developers to utilize and to plug into their protocols and their applications.
What do people need to know about Balancer, whether that be developers or other end users?
I think what people need to know about Balancer is that because it's designed as the most flexible and dynamic AMM, it really sets itself apart from all the other AMMs out there, which of course there are several, because I think that what people need to realize is the use case for an AMM goes way beyond what we have used them for thus far, sort of in what I consider to be the very early period of DeFi, which is primarily as a decentralized exchange, providing liquidity to traders to swap from one token to another. Balancer does that, and that is very important, and that's what the majority of activity looks like today. But looking into the future, I think that traders are not the only ones who need access to liquidity. Protocols need access to liquidity. Applications need access to liquidity. AMMs are actually a fundamental infrastructural layer of DeFi. And for many of the developers in the DeFi space who are creating products in this space, having an AMM layer, having some kind of liquidity pool infrastructure is crucial. And I'm talking beyond just having a liquidity pool that contains your project's token, making sure that you have a liquid market for your token. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about providing some sort of asset exchange functionality that many applications require. And in order to do that, you will want to use the most flexible liquidity pool design so that it can fit your use case.
Can you elaborate a little bit on what makes Balancer unique compared to some of the contemporaries it has?
Of course. So what makes Balancer unique compared to other automated market makers is that Balancer liquidity pools can, first of all, they can contain multiple assets, not just two. They can contain up to 40, in fact. And within that range, you have so many different use cases already. If you just think of sort of the types of assets that would need to have liquidity against each other and why. But also, Balancer liquidity pools can contain custom weights for each of the assets that they contain. So that can be any arbitrary number from 2% to about 98%, and everything in between. So and that's kind of the general theme for Balancer. Many of the characteristics of Balancer pools are fully customizable and configurable. Swap fees, weights, number of assets, types of assets. You can have liquidity pools that can dynamically change their properties while they're live. This has led to a lot of use cases. I'm happy to dive into what those are.
Please.
So some of the use cases that have really grown for Balancer liquidity pools, I would say number one is as a token launchpad or IDO mechanism for projects that are launching a new token onto the market. LBPs, liquidity bootstrapping pools, which are a type of pool on Balancer, have really emerged as the most popular mechanism for that. And the reason is because they result in the most wide distribution and fair opportunity for many different types of investors, all different types of investors, to participate in a token sale, as opposed to a lot of other mechanisms which tend to end up with whales or the most sophisticated or well-capitalized players dominating high-value sales and kind of taking the lion's share of the tokens that are being offered. So when you look at the outcomes of LBP sales, you'll see that there's a very, very wide distribution of tokens amongst many different types of addresses, small and large, as far as their holdings. Another use case that's really growing right now is weighted pools. For example, 80-20 pools that contain two assets that are weighted 80% and 20%. This is one way you can use this is to create a pool that where the liquidity providers are actually maintaining a long position and a bullish stance on the token that is 80% of that pool, while also contributing to the liquidity of that token out on the market. This is a feature that is being used today by partners like Aave and Paraswap, and gaining a lot of popularity.
What kind of partners are you looking to get? And it looks good with the lighting going on for this one.
Yeah, so the types of partners that we really look for at Balancer, our strategy, our growth strategy, is what we call DAO to DAO, or D to D, kind of like an evolution of the B2B business model. And what this means is we really focus our energy and attention on catering to other decentralized projects, protocols, communities. Balancer is first and foremost a dynamic, flexible, infrastructural piece of DeFi, and Balancer grows over the long term through the growth of the partner projects that build on top of Balancer or that integrate with Balancer. As they grow, their users indirectly increase the utilization of the Balancer protocol because it functions as a component of those applications all over DeFi that are kind of growing in their usage. So we partner with many different types of projects that are building new AMM implementations, new types of AMM logic. We've really provided a no-brainer solution where instead of going through all of the steps to build and bootstrap an AMM from the ground up, you can take everything that we've already built at Balancer and plug in your custom innovative AMM logic and launch liquidity pools that will work immediately, and they'll also be connected to all of the other liquidity pools in the Balancer vault. So kind of saving a lot of the costs, a lot of the time, a lot of the development effort, and getting straight to market. We are working with really any DeFi projects that need a liquidity layer, which is a very wide spectrum.
What are you most passionate about in crypto? Like, why are you in this industry?
Why am I in crypto, and why am I passionate about it? I'm really passionate about the opportunity to create a financial system that is more accessible, more available to people around the world. I believe that where you're born shouldn't determine how much access you have to financial services and economic opportunity. So that's something really beautiful that I see happening in DeFi. Not only projects being founded by people in all different parts of the world, but also individual developers or designers or content creators or any all the wide gamut of skills out there who are able to share their talent and be rewarded for it. There are bounty projects, there are grant projects, there are projects in DeFi and crypto as a whole tend to be very decentralized as far as the people who are contributing to them and being rewarded for their contributions. I find that very exciting. I also am passionate about working on the cutting edge of technology, building new innovations that have never existed before, that can really shape the future of where society is going. like it or not, we live in a capitalist society, so the shape of the capitalist system around us has a very profound impact on our lives and on how we live our lives. So working in crypto is very fulfilling because it's making a difference in a really meaningful way. And I also love the fact that I get to work with just the most brilliant people I've ever met on a regular basis. Not only the people on my team, but the people throughout the ecosystem who are building different things, perhaps partnering with us or sharing what they're working on. I'm constantly just mind blown by the talent and the brilliance of the people in this space.
What are your thoughts on ETH2 and Ethereum scaling?
What are my thoughts on ETH2 and Ethereum scaling? Of course, it's been a long time coming. We've been waiting a long time for Ethereum 2 to arrive. I think that it's very easy to be critical of how long it's taken. The other side of the coin that I would mention is just if you can point out anyone who has already built a project like this that has reached this level of scale and that has successfully evolved it into to the level that it needs to be in terms of throughput and scale, there is none. So there is really no reference point for how long this is supposed to take. And I've been involved with enough technology projects to know that it's very hard to predict how long the development of any technical system will take. If they got their estimates wrong many times, that's the nature of this industry. I mean, this is an industry that didn't even exist before. Like, this is very new territory. So I guess overall what I would say is that I'm excited to see that come out. I think that Ethereum has built a very strong network effect with the developer community. The composability of smart contracts is a huge reason for that. All of the work, all of the development that has been done to create a flourishing and diverse ecosystem of products and services around the Ethereum ecosystem really puts it in a position where I think solving scaling issues through improvements to layer 1 as well as layer 2 solutions is very promising, as well as using side chains for other computation that can be done off chain or can be done elsewhere.
Brief thoughts on Bitcoin.
I've been a Bitcoiner since 2012. I love Bitcoin as much as I did back then, today. I think that Bitcoin is one of the most important inventions in human history. I think that having non-sovereign or non-state controlled sovereign hard money is absolutely crucial for society. I think that our world is moving towards a new paradigm of more self-sovereign ownership, and I think that Bitcoin, if it didn't start this revolution, it's really propelling it. So I think the world needs Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is the most sound reserve asset in the world. I think that many of us in the Ethereum community share this sentiment. Many of us in the Ethereum community are Bitcoiners as well, and sort of came into this world from there and still consider ourselves dual citizens of Bitcoin and Ethereum.
What's next for Balancer?
So Balancer has been quite busy. We just released a product called Boosted Pools with Aave in short, it's a liquidity pool that can reallocate assets into other yield-generating strategies. We're working on a very exciting product called managed pools, which I believe are the best solution for launching an index fund, DeFi index fund, as well as for a lot of treasury management solutions that will be very valuable to DAOs. We have also recently announced a new updated tokenomic model, the VBAL model, which is inspired by Curve. That's coming out soon. And we actually just announced yesterday, I announced yesterday on stage here at ETH Denver, the first ever DAO to DAO revenue sharing model. Never been done before, and something that I'm very proud of, something that I'm very excited about, which can really change the way the space moves forward in terms of permissionless collaboration between decentralized projects and alignment of financial interest and growth.
Where can people find Balancer and Geo?
People can find Balancer. So you can find Balancer Labs on Twitter at Balancer Labs. You can find the Balancer DAO on Twitter at Balancer. You can find me on Twitter at Immutable, which is spelled IMMUTBL. You can also join our Balancer Discord community at discord.balancer.fi.
Thank you.
Thank you.